Hi, I'm Annamarie Tendler, and today I'm going to show you how to do Halloween makeup inspired by Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. This is the look that I did on Joan Smalls when she made her Corpse Bride costume with Todd Oldham. This is a really easy look. You'll definitely be able to recreate it at home. Okay, let's get started. The first thing you want to do, as with any makeup, is pull your hair away from your face so it doesn't get in the way while you're working. The next step is to do an all-over light blue wash on your face. When you're applying the blue, you want to make it light enough so that your natural skin tone shines through. That'll make it more natural looking. I apply my makeup with a sponge. You can get any sponge at a drugstore, is great. It's just easier for blending over the face. I'm using Ben Nye Cream Colors face paint, and anyone can buy this. You can either get it online or they carry it at any Halloween store. I like to put all of my colors out on one piece of palette paper so I know exactly what I'm going to use. You can get palette paper at any art supply store, and it's basically what people use to mix oil paint on. And when you're applying the makeup, you just want to blend it down onto the neck a little bit so it disappears into your natural skin. And you don't have to be too careful about getting this light color in and around the eyes because you're going to be putting a dark color there anyway. Okay, so now you have your blue wash over your entire face, and it's time to go in and do some basic shading and contouring. I use a brush, but you can easily do this with a sponge applicator as well. You just want to use a different sponge applicator than what you were using. For the shading and contouring, you want to use a darker shade than your all-over face paint. And you want to go in and create dimension in your face by shading under the cheekbones and also a little bit around the perimeter of the face. And to do the cheekbones, you want to get in the hollow of the cheekbones. To find the hollows of your cheekbones, if you don't have super defined cheekbones, just make a fish face like that, and it'll create a little indentation where you want to put the darker color. She's a little emaciated and basically skeletal, so you really want to have a hollowed out face for her. For this step, you're going to contour around the outside of the face. Just because when the blue paint is on, you sort of lose the dimension of your bone structure. So here I'm just going to add a slightly darker blue around the outside of the face, blending it as it goes in towards the light blue. Be sure to add some of the dark blue shading into your temples as well. This will help accentuate the cheekbone area and create more of a hollowed out feel. When you're doing the shading, really don't worry about it being perfect. The Corpse Bride was in the ground for many years and she's decaying, so this does not have to look perfect. Also add a little bit of the dark shading around the nose. And also down the sides of the nose on either side, and this will help create a pointed effect. Contouring you can do in any makeup look. A lot of newscasters use it in their looks to create a really defined face. Okay, now we're gonna go in and do a little bit of the dark shading around the eyes. The Corpse Bride has really sunken eyes, but they're also really large. So by putting this dark shading around the eyes, we're starting to create a more sunken in look, which will then go back in with eyeshadow and sort of pump up. Okay, so now your shading and your contouring is done, and it's time to move on to the eyes. For the eyes, I'm gonna use a mixture of 3 colors from MAC. One is a carbon black, one is Deep Truth, which is a dark blue, and Freshwater, a slightly lighter blue. And the great thing about MAC is that you can make your own 4 palettes. So you could go in there, grab these 3 colors and one other color of your choice, and you'd be ready to have your Corpse Bride palette. We're gonna start this by applying Deep Truth, which is the dark blue, and you can apply it with the eyeshadow brush of your choice. The Deep Truth is gonna go all around the eye. Once I have a base of the color in, I like to go over the edges with a large fluffy brush just to blend it. So it's not imperative yet that your edges are soft. We're gonna use the dark blue going around the entire eye, just to make it look more sunken in. When you're doing Halloween makeup, it's definitely gonna go through a phase where it looks messy at first. And always keep in mind that doing a face paint is kind of like cleaning your room. It looks worse before it looks better. And as you can see, I'm not being super careful about my blending. Once I finish with the dark blue on both eyes, I'm gonna go in and add the lighter blue just lightly around the edges and blend it with my finger. Once you're done with your lighter blue, you're gonna go in and add the black. You're applying this black almost as you would a liner, right into the inner rims of the eyes and into the lashes. If you prefer to use a black liner for this step, you absolutely can. Just make sure you smudge the line with your finger as you go. And you also want to add black along the top lid. So I'm done with the black around the eyes, but now I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of black eyeliner to close up the gap between the eyes and the eyelashes. You really want the black to go right up to the white of the eye. I'm using my favorite black eyeliner, which is MAC Fluidline in Blacktrack. It comes in this little pot, and you put it on with a short angled brush. I use MAC brush number 263. This eyeliner is really great because it will stay on the inner rims of your eye and it won't fade or smudge down. You apply this liner with a brush, which may seem difficult, but I actually find it easier. You can get your eyeliner to a point much easier, and as long as you use your eyelashes as a steadying base, you should be able to get a pretty straight line. You're starting to see the look really come together with the eyes, but this next step is the eyebrows, and it's super transformative. You'll really start to see the complete look of the Corpse Bride. To do the brows, you can use a short angled brush. I'm actually gonna use the same brush I used for the eyeliner. And you can apply the brows with either black face paint or your black eyeliner. I'm gonna use the black face paint just because it's a little more pigmented and it'll come out slightly richer. But if you don't want to go out and buy black face paint and you have a great black liner, you're welcome to use that. The Corpse Bride has really prominent pointed eyebrows. So I'm gonna start by following the natural shape of my eyebrows and then elongating the outside. And then on the inside, I'm going to elongate and make a point moving in the upward direction to create that sort of sad, forlorn look that she has. There's not really any trick to painting in your eyebrows. You just want to follow the natural shape and make sure that you get the face paint really well in there, not just sitting on top of the brow hairs. Getting the brows even can be a little difficult, so what I find helpful is instead of doing one complete brow and then the other, is to do it in steps and switch back and forth between the brows. Now that your brows are filled in, you're gonna start by elongating the outer ends of the brow. And this is where that angled brush will really come in handy. You'll be able to get a really sharp point. Now I'm gonna do the inner corners of the brows, which is a little bit more difficult. What you're gonna do is fill in to the inner corners of the brow. And then with your angled brush, you're almost gonna create a triangle shape on the ends, moving upwards. A good thing to know is that no one's face and eyebrows are perfectly symmetrical, so do not make yourself crazy trying to get this perfect. Okay, so we're pretty much done with the bulk of the look. Now we're just gonna go in and add some facial detailing and the lips. For the facial detailing, I'm going to use a sponge to create this sort of decayed look that she has on her forehead. And this is a makeup sponge, but you can actually use any type of kitchen sponge if you just cut the corners off of it and cut it into a nice round shape or a triangular shape. Just make sure your sponge is clean. I'm gonna use an even darker blue for this skin erosion. And you don't want a ton of product on your sponge. It's much easier to add makeup than to take makeup away, so start light, and if you need to, you can always go in and add more. And apply this by pressing down and then pulling up directly where you press down. And I'm just gonna add a little bit more by the hair. And I'm going to add a little on the side of the cheek where she has the hole in her face. Now, where you put the skin erosion on the cheek, we're going to use some more black face paint and draw the hole in her face. I'm using just a small angled brush to do this. And you want to put it right in the middle of where you did the decay. Okay, and there you have the hole in your face. The Corpse Bride has pink lips, so we're just going to use a simple pink lipstick. There's one last thing this look needs, and that's just a little bit of mascara. If you're feeling extra adventurous, you can definitely use false eyelashes. When you apply the mascara, apply it out to the side to create the side lash effect that she has. All right, I'm just gonna take my hair down. Okay, and there we go. I'm all finished with my Corpse Bride look. As you guys can see, this is really easy. When you're trying it out at home, don't sweat the details.